So another example. So let's have 5 states, Q0 to Q4, wherein Q4 is the final state. Okay, so we have 5 rows and 5 columns, and again, the lower cell will be used for our solution. So step 2, we're going to determine if the pair state have one non-final and final state. Q1, Q0, non-final both, so unmarked. Q2, Q0, unmarked. Q1, Q2, unmarked. Q3, Q0, unmarked. Q3, Q1, unmarked. Q2, Q3, unmarked. Q0, Q4, mark. Okay. And then Q1, Q4, mark. Q2, Q4, mark. Q3, Q4 will be marked. Okay, so after marking the non-final and final cell, let's proceed with step 3. We're probably could mark more cells. Okay, so let's start with Q0 and Q1 cell. So Q1 and Q0 will go to Q1 if both have A. If Q0 has B, it will go to Q2. Q1, if has at B, it will go to Q3. So Q2, Q3 is not marked. Okay, Q1 both is not marked. So let's proceed with Q2, Q0. Okay, Q0 at A will go to Q1, Q2 at A go to Q1. Q1 is not marked. Q0 at B, Q2. Q2 at B will go to Q2. Q2 is not marked. So Q2, Q0 will not be marked. Let's proceed with Q1, Q2. So Q1A will go to Q1, Q2A will go to Q1, Q1B will go to Q3, and Q2B will go to Q2. Q3, Q2, this part is not marked, and again, Q1 is not yet marked. So let's proceed with Q3, Q0. So for Q0 at A, we'll go to Q1. Q3 at A will go to Q1. Q1 is not marked. So let's proceed with B. Q0 at B will go to Q2. Q3 at B will go to Q4. Q2, Q4 is marked cell. So therefore Q0, Q3 will also be marked. Okay. So let's proceed with Q1, Q3. So Q1A, Q1, Q3A, Q1. So no marking. Q1B, Q3, Q3B, Q4. Q3, Q4 is marked. Therefore, Q1, Q3 will also be marked. Now let's proceed with Q2, Q3. Q2 at A will go to Q1 both, and also Q3 will go to Q1. Q2B will go to Q2. Q3B will go to Q4. Q2, Q4 is marked. So therefore, this cell will also be marked. Okay. So since we have no marking, let's go back to our other cell. So again, Q1 is not marked. Q2, Q3, this part is already been marked. So Q0, Q1 will also be marked. Okay, how about Q0, Q2? Both Q1 and Q2 cells are not marked, so therefore we're not going to do anything here. Q1, Q2, Q1 is still not marked, but for Q3, Q2, or Q2, Q3 is also already been marked. So therefore, this cell will also be marked. Okay, since we have a new marking after Q0, Q2, let's go back with Q0, Q2. But unfortunately, by inspecting, Q1 is still not marked, Q2 is still not marked. So therefore, this will be our final marking. Okay. So now let's proceed with step 4. In step 4, we're going to determine the grouping of state. So Q0, Q2 will be grouped as 1, since this is unmarked state. And Q1, all related to Q1 are marked. So therefore, Q1 is one group. Q3, okay, all related to it is marked. So therefore, Q3 will also be one group. Q2, same as with Q2. Sorry, this should be Q4. Hmm. So Q0, Q2, and Q2 should not be part of a new. Okay, going back. Okay, so Q02 is not part, will not be independent since not all cells are marked. So the final state will be Q0, Q2, Q1, Q3, and Q4. And this will be the new drawing for this automata. Okay. Problem 6. So let's have six states, two final state, and one initial state, which is Q0. So this is step 1. Step 2. So we're going to mark all pair which has non-final and final state. So Q0, Q1. Okay. Non-final and non-final both, Q2, Q0. Non-final both, Q2, Q1. Non-final, Q3, Q0, final, and non-final. So mark it. Q1, Q3, minor, non-final. Q2, Q3, non-final and final. So mark it. Okay, so let's proceed with Q4, Q0. Mark. Q4, Q1, mark. Q4, Q2, mark. Q4, Q3, unmark because both are final. Q5, Q0, unmark. Q5, Q1, unmark. Q5, Q2, unmark. Q5, Q3, mark. Q5, Q4, mark. Okay, then let's proceed with step 3. So we're going to mark Q1. And we're going to check if Q1 will be marked. So Q0, Q1. We'll go to Q1, Q2, Q2, Q3 at 1. So Q2, Q3 it's already been marked. So let's mark Q1, Q0. Q2, Q0. So Q2, Q1 for if it's 0. Q2, Q1 is not marked. If it's 1, Q4, Q1. Q4, Q1 is already been marked. So Q2, Q0 will also be marked. Q2, Q1. So Q2, Q1 will not be marked. Okay. Q4, Q3 is not marked here. Q2, but Q2 is not marked. We're not going to mark Q1. But what can you say about Q5? Can we remove it now? Yes, because this is unreachable state. So just remove Q5. Okay. So we're going to remove it. Okay. So let's check Q1, Q2 again. Q4, Q3 is not marked. Q4, Q3 is not yet marked. Okay, so we're not going to mark this both cells. So let's go move on to step 4. So in step 4, we have Q0 wherein all cells related to it is marked, so it will be independent. Q1, Q2 for this cell, and Q3, Q4 for this cell. And again, we don't have Q5 now because it's unreachable state. So we only have 3 states. So Q0 will be the initial state, Q3, Q4 will be the final state. So this will be the drawing. So Q0, any value will go to Q1, Q2. If it's 0, will just loop within itself. If it's 1, it will go to the final state, which is Q3, Q4, and any value in Q3, Q4 will be looped within itself. Okay. So problem number 7. So we have 5 states, Q0, Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4, and the alphabets are A, B. So we have 5 rows and 5 columns. And in step 2, we're going to mark the paired, which is not non-final and final state. Okay, so this will be the marking. So Q1 and Q0 mark, Q1 and Q2 not mark, Q0, Q2 mark, Q3 and Q0 unmarked because both are final, Q3, Q1 mark, Q3, Q2 mark, Q4 and Q0 mark, Q4, Q1 not mark, Q4, Q3 unmarked, Q4, Q3 mark. Then step 3, check the other cells if we could mark it. So let's start with Q1, Q2. So in Q1, Q2, okay. So it will go to Q3, Q4 if it's A. Q3, Q4 is already been marked. So therefore, we're going to mark Q1, Q2. Let's proceed with Q3, Q0. Okay. So in Q3 and Q0, it will go to Q1 for A. And if it's B, it will go to Q2. Both Q1 and Q2 are not marked, so therefore, no marking for Q3 and Q0. Now let's proceed with Q4, Q1. So Q4, Q1 at A will go to Q4, Q3, which is already been marked. So therefore, Q4, Q1 will also be marked. So now let's proceed with Q2, Q4. So in Q2, 4, at A will go to Q4. At B will go to Q0 and Q4, and Q0, 4 and Q0 is already been marked. So therefore, Q2, Q4 will also be marked. Since we have a new marking, let's go back to Q3, Q0. But unfortunately, Q1 and Q2, Q1 cell, Q2 cell are not marked. So therefore, Q0, Q3 will not be marked. So now let's proceed with step 4. So this will be the grouping. Q0, Q3, based on this cell, will be one group. Then Q1 will be an independent group, and Q4 will also, Q2 will also be an independent group, and Q4 will also be an independent group. Okay, but yeah, we should have Q3, Q4 here. Q4 rather. Okay, so this will be the grouping for the trap state. So this drawing is incorrect. So let's remove it. Okay. So this final grouping, Q0, Q3, Q1, Q2, and Q4. Okay. So we're in Q4 will be the what do you call this? The trap state. Q0, Q3 will be the initial and the final state. Okay. And Q1 and Q2 are non-final state. So that's it for this video lecture. See you on the next. Thank you.